Your red wine tonight. Red wine tonight. Nothing wrong with a little red wine. Let's see what we have here. Just love the beginning of this song. I have a very hard, like a very bad habit of going so fast, and a lot of people who cover this particular song here or this particular piece, they have a tendency to go super fast when playing this song. You actually get the value out of it when you take your time and you actually listen to this song and to this piece. I almost need a metronome. Now the melody for this first movement of Beethoven, it's a little bit tricky. My style of playing is not so accustomed to it, so right now I'm just really just trying to plug in and get familiar with the chords, muscle memory, things of that nature. Um, that's really my main focus. Not so much the melody. The melody, it's gonna come around, but just solely just trying to focus on memorizing the chords and things of that nature and transitions. So I want to go from the top. Ah, ah. I'm missing every time between that C and that E. All right. That was a little better. Just a little better. Just a little better. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to move to the next phase. Go through that round one more time. All right. Seems like I'm not loud enough. All right, we getting somewhere. Let's see. Ah, ah. So continue on. Just so I'm going to transition from a totally different another key. I come to find out whenever I transition to another key, just something about just getting away from what I was working on. When I come back to it, it's just like my mind just get right to it. So I'm going to switch to another key, play another sound, a vibration, and then hopefully come back to this Moonlight Sonata. All right, um, let's do this. Do a little freestyling. A little build up. Add more body. Actually, I like that progression in key C sharp. So I'm gonna try to change the instrument on here. I think I will go with the. Let's see. We go with. We'll go with a symphony pad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a symphony pad on this one. If I can find it. It's certainly a pad. It's a warm pad. Okay. We'll try to do this first movement of Moonlight Sonata one more again. This time with a pad. So not gonna do so many harmonizing with keys, but just more about chords. Just focus more about chords right now. So let's go with. I hope this is not too loud. Right. Still trying, still trying to figure out how to do this Twitch thing. Let's see. I want to be able to get it where I can um, add another source to play background video. Um, been having issues with my PC for some reason, but I'm gonna get that taken care of. I'm gonna get that taken care of. But as you all see, the ones who are on here, as you all see or have heard, um, just have a love and for the hobby of music. I believe that music is the is probably the greatest connection. When it comes to a human being. When it comes to creation as a whole, everything makes music. If it vibrates, it has music. It makes music. And I fell in love with music a while back. Ever since I can remember. Um, Hearing my father was a musician, was a guitar player. Never really heard him play as much, but just hearing it, you know how every son wants to be like their father. So I kind of came up with this, this mindset to aspire to play music. Professionally, I have not done so. Started off in the church, and from there, just pretty much did my own thing. But now that I'm no longer with the church or with ministry, music it still stuck with me. It still stuck with me. Certain um, sounds and frequencies, it stuck with me. So yeah, music is a great thing. Music is a great thing. I also believe that music is a great avenue in which a person could seek that awakening of themselves. And I think certain music play a part. Only certain music play a part. Obviously you listen to music that's toxic and about drama and this and that. It is just going to bring you to a low vibration, a low vibrational state. But when you're listening to music that evokes consciousness and evokes awareness and just this, it just sends you to a whole nother world and dimension. That is where the high vibration come in at. And I don't think we practice that enough as people. You know, I don't think we practice that enough. Having control of your vibration, taking control and ownership of your vibration. You are vibration, and it's your duty and your responsibility to find what resonates with you. Um, and someone may say, "Hey, I guess the toxicity resonates with me." No, I don't believe toxicity resonates with anyone. That is just learned behavior. That is just a person who's a victim of their environment, and but we all are meant to raise to a high vibrational standard, high vibrational state. So speaking of high vibrational state, I have these incense, and man, it's like the best incense. Especially for some reason it has something inside of it that kind of like keeps you awake. It's kind of scary, but it works. Um, let's see if I can. set that there. I've been reading this book, and I'm gonna make it my responsibility and my purpose to every time I get on live to read a certain portion of this book. This book is titled "The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success," and man, have I if I can tell you how much of a help this book has been unto myself. Some great stuff in here. Just a small pocketbook, but it serves as a reminder of you are nature, you are one. It's about oneness. It's one consciousness, and when you understand that you are one, you also understand how to be a part of who you are and what you are, which is one with the universe. And only when we realize our relationship with the universe, some may call it God when it comes to religion and certain dogma or whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, it's about this one consciousness, you know, for creation. The sun is conscious, the moon is conscious, human beings are conscious, animals, everything that creeps conscious is conscious. The flowers, the plants is conscious. Everything, light is conscious. Everything is conscious. And everything serves one another. And because everything must serve one another and everything has a purpose within that conscious, it makes a collective conscious. It is the very epitome of what life is. There's not one life. My life is valuable to yours and yours is valuable unto mine. We all are individuals who are meant to connect with one another. We are meant to connect with one another. We are meant to use our purposes and our gifts to serve one another. The last portion of this book that I read was the law of giving and receiving. And it pretty much talks about reciprocity and the idea of you give, it will be given back to you. Whatever you put in, you will give back. Things of that nature. But a lot of people feel that, hey, things just gonna come with them just with a handout. No, nothing is handout. Nothing is handout. Even the universe doesn't honor that. Even the universe doesn't honor handouts. Not at all. Not at all. Let's scan through a couple of things here. I think that's a very good one. The law of cause and effect. I like this one though. I think this one's going to be pretty interesting. And by the way, this is a book that's derived from Hindu beliefs, in a way, a Hindu understanding, which predates many religion. I'm not saying that it's valid. I'm not here to justify it or to be an apologist of any religion at all. But I'm more of an omnist, if that's what you want to call it. Don't really care about terms, but if we was to actually put it into a term, I would be more of an omnist, and what pretty much that is, for those who are not familiar, it's an individual who sees truth in every so-called religion. Put it that way, because the truth is, every religion is a copy of one another. It's a duplicate of one another. They just have their own differences to set each other apart via different names of gods, different images, this and that nature. But they all believe in the concepts, the spiritual laws of nature. They all believe in the spiritual laws of nature. Every one of them does. But the law of least effort. That sounds so interesting. The law of least effort. Let's see what that's about. The law of least effort. Put this down. gonna get a little comfortable, let my chair down a little bit. Get my wine. All right. See here. Bring this down some. All right, so the law of least effort. It reads the fourth spiritual law of success. The law of least effort is based on the fact that nature's intelligence functions with effortless ease, with carefreeness, harmony, and love. This is the principle of do less and accomplish more. When we learn this lesson from nature, we easily fulfill our desires. Interesting. Interesting. It reminds me of the cliche, don't work hard, work smart, in a way. But that's pretty interesting, and I want to read more, but the art or the law of least effort, meaning that you acquire more when you do less. Like, how is that possible? That's when the spiritual world, where most of us are not familiar, we see everything in this physical, tangible force, and everything has to be seen, everything has to be proven, and we living by man's standard. Let's just be real. So we see these things and we think that there's this impossibility. No, the impossible, or the possible, or the reach to possibility, infinite possibility, lies within the spiritual realm. If you want to acquire anything that you feel that is impossible, you must seek within. You must seek within. There's nothing that can be attained. There is nothing that can be acquired that is in the reach of impossibility if it is not. What just happened? But yeah, we using least effort. I think that's great. So do less, accomplish more. But the spiritual realm is very important, guys. It says if we observe nature at work, we see that the least effort is expended. Grass doesn't try to grow; it just grows. Fish don't try to swim; they just swim. This is their intrinsic nature. It is the nature of the sun to shine, right? It is the human nature to make our dreams manifest into physical realm, easily and effortlessly. What is commonly called a miracle is actually an expression of the law of least effort. Wow, so what we all seen as miracles was really an act of least effort. You ever, something miraculous happened. You like, wow, how did that happen? But you didn't do anything for that to happen. That's because you was operating in the law of least effort. See, the truth is, when we try so hard and when we pursue things to the fullest extent, we're really not allowed the universe to work its way and to do its due diligence, to do its thing, with us. We are in a way interfering with the balance of nature. When we're using so much stress and force, no, everything is with ease. Everything is natural. What comes natural is and what's authentic is going to remain forever. It's everlasting. I love the example that it brought about when it talked about the fishes. Fish don't try to swim. They just know how to swim. It's their nature. Human beings don't learn to walk. That's just something that we just start doing. This part of our nature. So things that comes natural, things that comes with an ease that's effortless. That's how what this excerpt is trying to convey to an audience is it's the power and the potential in which we possess. We possess so much potential. So much potential. And we don't realize it. We don't realize it. But a lot of it comes with least effort. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all. But it goes on least effort is suspended when our actions are motivated by love. When our actions are motivated by love. Meaning everything that you do, everything that you're in a pursuit with, it should be done with a genuine heart. It should be done with authenticity. It should be done with no jealousy, no envy, no malice, no contention, no guilt, no shame. It should all be done in a high vibrational state. And love is the highest vibrational state. When everything is done in love, it literally opens doors. It opens doors. But it must be motivated by love. Every door that you want open must be open and must be operated through love. It says because nature is held together by the energy of love. We all think love is this emotion of boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, and loved ones. Love is natural. It's nature. That's what love is. Love is this connection we all share with one another. Love is one consciousness. That's what love is. Love is the number one. It's the root of our consciousness, of consciousness itself, because it's the natural stem. It's the natural force that drives humanity. Everything is driven by love. Everything operates off love. Everything does. Whether you want to put other little words or things to describe, us and how we live in the field of love, you can do that. Care. Everything operates through care. Everything operates through nourishing. So it all stems back to love. When we seek power and control over other people, we spend energy in a wasteful way. When we seek money for personal gain only, we cut off the flow of energy to ourselves and interfere with the expression of nature's intelligence. See, nature intelligent only know one thing, and the only thing nature intelligent knows is connection. It's not about separation. So when you're operating in solitude, when you're operating in separation and you're trying to acquire something, and you're trying to attain something, and you're wondering why it's not working, it's because you're not respecting the nature, you're not respecting nature's intelligence. See, nature intelligence doesn't work like that. Nature intelligence is about connection. So you have to be willing to connect. You have to learn how to connect with individuals. You have to learn how to be you have to learn how to empathize with individuals, how to sympathize with individuals. There has to be a connection. There has to be a connection. Goes back to the law of giving and receiving, and you have to connect with others by being willing to offer an act of service to others. Right? You know, we can't be out for selfish ambition, selfish motives. Yeah, we are selfish by default when it comes to some sort of extent because we are one being person, but we have to untrain our mind to see ourselves just not as one, but as one, as a whole, as creation, as humanity, as one. That's how we have to view ourselves. And only then will we have, will we act in more gratification, and when we act in more acts of service towards other people, because we will see others like we see ourselves. That's when the Bible says little things like give and shall be given back to you, or it says things like treat others how you want to be treated. Love others how you want to be loved. Love your enemies and this and these and that nature. It's only saying it because most people want to be loved. Most people want to be accepted. Most people want to be cared after. That's what most people want. But most people don't really know the recipe in order to make that happen. But love is a part of it. Love is certainly a part of it. But it says when we spend our energy being selfish, we waste it. We wasting it. We're wasting it. We waste our energy chasing the illusion of happiness. You remember that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, by Will Smith? By the way, great movie. But the pursuit of happiness. It's like we're all on this pursuit of this fulfillment. This fulfillment. This fulfillment that we really have no idea what it is. We just know that that's something that we want to feel within ourselves, want to fulfill within ourselves. But what I mean by we really don't know the outcome, or we really don't know the result, or what that happiness bring about. We have this expectation, but as we all know how it goes in the real world, most things doesn't happen how we expect it. So that's even the same thing when it comes to chasing happiness. That don't you have to be mindful to not be naive to the fact that happiness is an illusion. Happiness is only an illusion. You have to be able to find your happiness within. You have to be able to find it within. It's not going to come from nowhere else. It's only going to come within. So you can seek elsewhere. You can seek outside of yourself, but that's only going to be temporal. Because there's going to be another starvation, hunger, and appetite is going to come about, and where you're going to be able to search then. You can't run from yourself. You cannot run from your happiness within yourself. And once you learn to find the happiness within yourself, that's when the outer, everything else become easy to accept. Everything else become easy to be gratified towards. Instead of enjoying happiness in the moment, because all most happiness is temporal. The outside source that we seek, different things that we seek to feel our addictions, because all happiness is a it's this antidote and remedy to our addictions. We just want something that's going to last forever for our addiction. So we want to be able to satisfy our addiction everlasting, forever, for infinity. And that's our definition of happiness. But the problem is our addiction is a lot of times it's the problem. So imagine seeking something that's going to feed your addiction. But that thing is happiness. It's really not happiness. It's an illusion. And that illusion of happiness is probably your demise. Probably your demise. But it says, instead of enjoying happiness in a moment, and it goes on to say, attention to the whims of the ego consumes the greatest amount of energy. Attention to the whims of the ego consumes the greatest amount of energy. So when you're trying to seek happiness, you're actually trying to feed the ego. It's the ego that longs for that happiness. But there's a lot of energy that's being consumed. There's a lot of energy that's being wasted. But when our internal reference point is our spirit, go back to the point that I was referencing to. You can't. You could try to find the outside, but that's only gonna come to. That's gonna come to an end. It has to be within. It must be within. It must be within, people. It says, but when our internal reference point is our spirit, when we refer to our spirit, the inner man, our actions are motivated by love. And there is no waste of energy. Our energy multiplies. In fact, our energy, it adds up. It doubles. It multiplies. So not only do we come in contact with that place that actually matters, but also what we're also doing, we are multiplying our energy. Our energy, instead of it being something that's attached to us, that's sucking and draining the energy out of us, it's more like a charge. So now we're being plugged up and charged. We're being plugged up and charged. And I think that's where the whole point of the law of least effort come in at. Because you do the inner work, and the inner work, that's probably the hardest part. But in the physical world, you're not doing anything. You're doing less physically. The most work you have to do is eternal. The most work you have to do is eternal. It's within. It's within. But do less. The law of least effort. When we harness the power of harmony and love, we use our energy creatively for the experience of affluence and evolution. So here's some practical ways we can use this law of least effort, or least manifested in our lives. How can you put the law of least effort into action? There are three things you can do. Now, I'm quite sure it's more than three things, but this is what this author is offering to the audience. Three things. First thing is to accept people, situations, and events as they are, not as you wish they were. So you must accept things as they are, not in which you wish that they were. Example, your life. Look at your life right now. Accept your life for what it is. For whatever it is, whatever you may define your life is right now. Accept that. Stop looking at your life as what you imagine it or what you would want it to be. If you're driving in a 2007 Toyota, accept that. Don't be in the mindset of driving in a Toyota, but you're stressing because you want this this Mercedes Benz. That's not how you acquire thing. That's not how it works. You using too much energy. You dissolving too much energy. You consuming too much energy. That's not the way to go. That's not the method we want to use. We want to use and we want to practice the law of least effort. And one of the ways the law of least effort teaches us is to accept people, situations as they are. Even people, accept them as they are, not how you would want them to be. Yeah, in the perfect world, we want everyone to literally conform to our ways. We want everyone to make our wishes come true. We want everyone to like us. We want everyone to validate us. We want everyone to make us feel secure. We want everyone to have everything in common with us for the most part. That's what we want. But the truth is, in the perfect, I mean, the real world, you have to accept people for who they are. Because if you're not, because this is what it all points to, and it goes back to this illusion. It's an illusion. When we do not see things in the proper lens, and our perception is not aligned properly, we're not seeing things for what they are, and we're not seeing people for who they are. We're not seeing situations for what it is. When we don't do it, we operate in this naiveness and this delusion and of illusion of things. But it's time to now put on our visual glasses and see things, and start operating in the spirit. Start operating in the spirit. It's not this spirit that comes from God. No, it's this all knowing spirit. It's this one spirit, the spirit of consciousness, this awareness of life, awareness of life principles. Start operating in this. But we must start seeing things and accepting people and situations for what it is. It is what it is. This moment is as it is should be, because it took the entire universe to make it. When you struggle against this moment, you struggle against the entire universe. That's the reason why it's so stressful, because you don't want to accept the moment. And in reality, as a result, because you're not accepting the moment, it's like you're wrestling with the universe. And that's a fight you're not going to win. You're not going to win. So instead of just fighting with the universe, which most religion people will probably say fighting with God, just let it go. Just let it go. That's all. Just let it go. Just let it go and accept things for what it is. If it is what it is, that's what it should be. There's no mistake. There's no, it could have been that way, it should have been that way, it would have been that way. No, if it is, everything is what it is. There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. It says you can intend for things to be different in the future, but in this moment, accept things as they are. So you could uh, intend or desire, but don't allow your desire and your wanting to distract you from what reality is. Because when that happens, that is when you are operating, or you are controlled by an illusion. It says the second thing is to take responsibility for your situation and for all the events you see as problems. Everything that you see as a problem, especially if you are the main author and the main character of this situation, you must accept responsibility and take accountability for it. You must take accountability for it. It says this means not blaming anyone or anything for your situation, including yourself. So I was wrong. I was saying you must take accountability for it, And I think it's more about, when it says taking responsibility, understanding, being responsible in your situation. So whatever the result of your situation was, still operating and being a responsible individual. However, in going through what you're going through, it suggests us to not blame anyone or anything, not even yourself, because the truth is, you you are part of this motion of the universe. So there's a lot of things that's happening that's beyond you, yet you are the circumstance of certain actions, because everything is by cause and effect. Everything is connected. So there could be someone that's a million miles away that's doing something. Guess what? Whatever they're doing, whether we want to accept it or not, it's affecting us, because we're all connected. So with that being said, we can control other people's actions. So when things happen, a lot of time it can be a circumstance of a trigger of effect or cause and effect in the universe. And then we look at our situation and we may blame ourselves, be like, how did I do this? How did I do that? No, not understanding that, what can be happening. This could be a result of someone else's action. But because you are a part of this one consciousness, unfortunately, unfortunately, yo, what's good? Can I see instrumentals that change my brain function? How you want your brain function to be? Hold on, I could play something. I could play something. Where I got you, bro. Let me see if I can play something. Let's see. Here. All right. So. Yo, appreciate it, my guy. He said the Zelda vibes. Yeah, no, no. Send a song, bro. I could just try my best. I actually play by ear, so I'm not the musician that have this sheet music and reading off a piece of paper. No, I learned the natural way. But yeah, no, you send some through or give me a suggestion. I'll see what I can do. What kind of music you do, bro? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have no issue with people um, who use like sheet music and things of that nature. But I don't know. I just feel like things should be done natural. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Now, jazz, and hip hop. That's dope. So I know you familiar with the certain Laffy soundtracks that like be on YouTube. It have like that jazz and hip hop mixture, things of that nature. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know too much jazz, but I'm gonna look into it. Definitely gonna look into it. I think I have some type of jazz taste, even though I may not be able to be aware of it, but definitely have some jazz in me. What's the title of the song, bro? Let me see if I can look it up. Let's get close. Okay, let's see. See if we can see. Fine. Says fire, huh? Brian Simpson. Let's get close. Let's see. See what it do. Okay.
At Domino's, now you can carry out a one-topping pizza
Come
with any of our
on.
five crust types, and you can order any way.
Let's see. That's fire. That's fire. I'm gonna have to change my keyboard, my sound. That's fire. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right. Cool. So you in the key of all right. Okay. Key of E flat. A flat. Okay. Okay. So I gotta work on the bass line first. Let me get the bass line first. That's fire though. No, I really appreciate you recommending that. That's actually fire. Like seriously, nice little cool little vibe. Let's see. So is it going from A flat to E flat to A flat to E flat? So that's a very simple. So I could play it the simple way or the technical way, but I see a very simple way that this can be played. Yeah, it is an A flat. Yeah, definitely an A flat chord. So it's like a. Now I think that the bass and the to my right and left seems fine, but it still seems a little appreciated, my guy. So let's see. Let me go back to it. I slept on Brian Simpson. Brian Simpson is hot. I like Brian Simpson. I like that. You just gave me a different, a greater inspiration of music. In a way, I kind of like, I kind of branched off from, jazz, but, I got more into like the classical and the like the symphony, type music. But man, I like that vibe, man. That put me in a nice vibe. I like that vibe. That's a decent vibe. Brian Simpson. Yeah, that's a decent vibe. It remind me of let's see, let's see, let's see. Say jazz be hitting different sometimes. No, yes, yeah, straight up, man. I just recently just got into classical about a couple years ago, and I'm telling you, man, I fell in love with it. I think it's I'm more into the spiritual awakening side of things, and classical, it definitely brings you to that side of the fence. It's like a brain food in a way. When I want to get into this super hyper mental focus, I listen to classical music, and somehow it gives me what I need. Somehow, strangely, but yeah, no, really appreciate that, man. I'm looking more into that jazz, man. That's definitely the lick right there, bro. 100% used to listen to classical. Straight up. I'm learning the Beethoven joint right now, man. In the key of C sharp major. I mean C sharp minor. Pretty pretty deep song with deep piece. Like the bass line is crazy on it. Like it's like this beautiful dark song. Music. So that's dark, man. It was pretty dark, man. Yeah, that Moonlight Sonata, the first movement. Yeah, the first movement was kind of, kind of dark. It was this like this darkness, but it turned it to this like this. You start to see the light, as the song progressed. You start to see the light. No, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. You definitely gotta love it. You gotta love it. They actually said that Beethoven, I believe, around that time I did believe he was tone deaf. He was tone deaf around that time. Somehow he gave us that beautiful masterpiece, but he was definitely tone deaf. Very insane. Very insane. But it goes to show you the how we as individuals resonate with music, because it's like it was a part of his DNA. It was a part of his makeup to the point, tone deaf or not. Even individuals like Ray Charles, who was blind, was still able to utilize that gift. It goes to show us that our physical capabilities and our senses are not you know the determined factor. It's just not the determined factor of us expressing ourselves. But yeah, that was definitely motivation. I heard he tone deaf. I'm like, wow, like, and I don't know. I'm just this theorist where, a lot of people give Beethoven and a lot of those individuals, back in the classical era, so much credit. Like they were just these geniuses. As I listen to a lot of their pieces, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It sounds like they're just going with the flow. They're doing a lot of freestyle, but they created the paradigm for us when it came to classical music for the most part. And it's like one of those things where we're trying to be what they were, but all the time they were just around playing keys and freestyling, improvising, and things of that nature. But it was some good stuff. It was definitely some good stuff. But Moonlight Sonata, like I said, I'm still, trying to learn that piece. But that's a nice one. No, really appreciate you, man. Jersey, Jersey, Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. I'm not on TikTok. Have some individuals tell me I should join TikTok. Get a lot of exposure on there, but I tried TikTok once before. Just on just with another niche, but it didn't go too well. But yeah, I may consider it. I may consider getting back on TikTok. And seeing what that do. Actually, I just started on Twitch, obviously, and I have a channel, with a page on Instagram where I don't do too much music on Instagram, but I do a lot of like awakening and just putting people on game pretty much on my Instagram channel. But yeah, I'm gonna look into the TikTok definitely look into the TikTok. But I want to make this a regular too with the Twitch. Word like spiritually. Yeah, like spiritually. Yeah, their religion stuff. And I don't mean to offend you if you're religious, but I tried the religious thing. Nah, nah, it's just not it. It's just not it. But I'm just more into the original where it actually started from than was spirituality. Do, do, do. But man, that's inspiring, bro. I'm glad to hear you before you blow up, man. That's inspiring, man. Like you literally operating in the law of manifestation right now, and I received that. I definitely received that, bro. Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. It's just like one of those things, man, where you you become the product of your environment in such a way, and then you start to learn some things. You say, hey, you know what? Hey, now this ain't right. This, something fishy and sketchy about this. So, no, I definitely feel you, man, and big ups to your journey as you continue to evolve. Definitely, man. Definitely continue to evolve. I'm big on evolution. We should never stay stagnant. When it comes to our knowledge, when it comes to our gift, when it comes to expressing ourselves, we should never stay stagnant. We should always be on the incline with everything that we do. So no, I appreciate you and big ups to you, man. For sure, for sure. Think I'm gonna play. I'm trying to play a couple more songs and gonna go from there. Let's see. Do 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 do. No, for sure, bro. Hope to see you again, man. I'll be doing this on a regular, man. So, definitely follow the channel, follow the page. I'll be doing a lot of this going forward. Appreciate you, my guy. Peace. Definitely do it later, my guy. Have a good workout too, man. He put me on Brian Simpson. Never heard of Brian Simpson. That's crazy. Yeah, appreciate it, my guy. Brian Simpson, definitely. Yeah, look at the Brian Simpson. But jazz, whether it's smooth jazz, whether it's soft jazz, whether it's whatever type of jazz, like jazz has always been this slick vibe. Jazz is like the most versatile music that a person can listen to. Like, like seriously, like Seriously, like you can listen to jazz on your way to work, on your way from work, with your lady, with your guy, chilling on the beach, whatever. Like jazz, is, like super versatile. It's dope. So yeah, definitely appreciate my guy Joker for sending those recommendations and suggestions. Definitely. Do. But I think I'm gonna cut it out of here. Definitely gonna tune in tomorrow, see what it do, um, see what the adventures bring tomorrow. I want to bring some about tomorrow, as far as literature is concerned. I also want to bring some new content as it applies to music. And for those who see see the channel and see the music and see the type of style I play, hey, you have any suggestions? Definitely put it in the chat. Definitely get with me through via my social medias. I'm definitely going to be open, to those suggestions, those recommendations. Definitely gonna be a vibe here. Definitely gonna be a vibe here, my guys. But till next time, stay awakened, stay justified, and we're gonna do it again, my peoples. Let's see where it is. How do I do? You know what? I was gonna log off, but hey, let's do another glass of wine. Why not? No one's on here anyhow. Just some cheap yellowtail Merlot. Goodness.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Financing.
How can something be so dark but be so beautiful? That's so emotional. That is so emotional. Gotta love it. This is actually the ending song, y'all. We closing out on Moonlight Sonata. We're closing out on Moonlight Sonata. Alright, guys. For real, this time, I'm going. Peace, peace, peace out. Let's see. Gotta get out of here. Okay. All right, peace out, guys. Stay awakened until next time.